Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the mighty Akim and Akwath out there who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. Kawakab coming at you with another lesson, and today, I'm going to talk about so-called black people being in astonishment. Okay, now I get recommended Slacky, like honestly lately I've been getting a lot of different recommendations. Like I think they've been just trying to push out get me to like watch videos, YouTube videos, TikToks and all this stuff so much. And I had mentioned this in another lesson, how the attention span of most people around the world, or the current generation, has decreased to less than a because they're just always so used to 10-second 10-second video, a minute video and all this stuff like that, like TikTok, for example, YouTube shorts and stuff like that, where it's just everyone is just so hooked on that, that whole getting information or getting entertainment or getting their rise or their high in just like a few seconds. Okay, now because of that, all right, I sometimes certain things, they say, okay, this video right here that I saw, it was recommended to me, and I said, okay, let me hear what this person has to say, because I know that they are notoriously a racist, disrespectful, they hate their own kind type of person. So I just want to hear, what were they going to say? What could they possibly have to say on this subject? And we're going to listen to this together. But I already, that's the reason. I already heard it, so let's just hear it.
When you're black in this multiverse, you cannot get away with, bro. It's not meant for black people to run this realm.
Okay, very first to open up about is, yes, he's right. Being an Israelite, or so-called black, as he said it, you cannot get away with a lot of stuff. Okay, like a lot of stuff, just you're going to be given a side eye and all this stuff like that, and seen as bad. But let's continue.
That's not, in a different dimension, a different multiverse, yes, might be in charge. Black people might be the actual white people in a different realm. But
stop. Now look, see right quick, this is a very important thing. He said so-called black people might be the white people in a different realm. So already he has a preconceived image for so-called white people. He thinks that they are basically, I don't want to describe it for him, but basically he very clearly has such high standards and views white people as so highly. Okay, so very clearly we have this concept on his view of so-called white people. All right, but also at the same time he also has the view and as well as the reality of what so-called black people are, and he thinks of them as lowly. Okay, but he also thinks of white people as highly. Okay, now let's just right quick, just let him finish.
In this realm, blacks, we can't get out.
Okay, the thing is, I thought it was a very funny thing that he says that, because how can someone be so wrong? How can someone just be and also he always says, oh, I'm a scholar, I was reading dictionaries and I was reading dictionaries when I was a kid, and a lot of the stuff he did, this man doesn't even know what eviscerate and a bunch of other different words commonly used, quote unquote, big words or whatever. Okay, so first things first is he is not the smartest. He's not the brightest. Okay, that's what I'll say. All right, and this is not really a responsibility to that. It's more towards the concept of how people look down upon so-called black people and look up, okay, sometimes literally to so-called white people. And the reason why I bring that up is because a lot of the reality of it is that way back then it was the so-called black people, the so-called black people that were ruling. It was the so-called black people that were in charge. It was the so-called black people, and it's in this quote-unquote realm, in this quote-unquote dimension, okay, as he was saying, oh, in another dimension black people can rule and stuff like that. In another dimension black people are the white people, okay, and in actuality it's in this dimension, okay. But of course, how is it that things can change so drastically? Okay, like that's the question you have to ask, and the answer is very simple. And I didn't think I was going to get this out, but I guess I should have been prepared. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High, thy power to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All right. Now, it is prior to all this stuff that has happened. The transatlantic slave trade, the slavery in South America, and a bunch of different what's it called, the massacre with the Native Americans. Before all that stuff, the so-called Israelites were ruling the world. Okay, one of the things is let me see, King James. There was a so sorry. That was funny. This is funny. Look, I type in King James and this man comes. But the thing is, over here, see, like this is very clearly, well, not very clearly, but we can see more so in the hair, okay, that this is a black man, okay, that woolly hair, all right, and this also is a perfect transition into the next thing I was going to go into, okay, because which is iconoclasm. Let me get that again. I should have had this all out. Iconoclasm is a social belief in the importance of the destruction and other images or monuments, most frequently for religious or political reasons. People who engage in or support iconoclasm are called iconoclasts, a term that has come to be figuratively applied to any individual who challenges cherished beliefs or venerated institutions on the grounds that they are erroneous or pernicious. Now, there was fuck. Well, over here it says iconoclasm literally means image breaking, okay? And one of the biggest things that we can see is over here. All right, look at all these Egyptian statues, okay? The nose is busted off, like all this over here. You see this, you see this. One of the biggest things is actually the nose, how the nose was destroyed, okay? And one of the reasons behind that is because, oh fuck, damn it, I have I had all these things. Okay, let me tell you, I had a whole bunch of different things kept, and I didn't, and I don't. I need to find them and show them. This is a perfect time for me to bring it out. Okay, call on YAHAWASHI. Okay, let's go here. If they can load. I literally accumulate a whole bunch of different sources and different references, and it just very disorganized for me. I need to organize them, but also I need to I don't want to just say, oh, I'm gonna use it, I'm done, I'm using it, and that's it for it, because it's always good to have some information at the ready. All right, over here, let's, if this can load quickly, over here. Oh wait, is this? Okay, whatever. Let's just watch.
Has one more surprise for Alejandro. Shammai's ethnicity.
Well, they have just told me that Shammai had Nubian features, which means that their ruling family was probably Nubian, and that was unexpected.
Examining Shammai's
Flocky, he literally just said, oh, that was unexpected, and meaning that he is disappointed to hear that the pharaohs weren't white as he was told. They weren't white as he thought. Okay. Okay, well, I guess this is good enough for you to see. All right, you see dark skin predominantly. All right.
his anatomy closely, the thickness of his bones and the shape of his nasal cavity, the anthropologists think he was a black African, likely from neighboring Nubia. A huge revelation that challenges the prevailing image of the Egyptian ruling class.
We always thought the ancient Egyptian elite were Mediterranean type, and in this sense, Shammai is representing the society of the frontier, in which different ethnic groups were mixed. At the end, it doesn't matter the color.
At the end, it doesn't matter. Now it doesn't. Now it doesn't matter, the color. But before, it very clearly mattered when he thought he was so-called white. Okay. Now it doesn't matter. All right, and that's something that you will always hear. Okay, when they initially think that, when it's generally accepted that people that said historical figure is white, then they say, okay, yeah, it's white. But then when it's a so-called black man or a so-called black person, whatever, then they say, oh, you know what? It really doesn't matter. Who cares about those types of details and whatnot, even though it's all, coming out now. Okay. And again, just, this was the purpose of this type of iconoclasm which again, it's literal translation is image breaking, and they're breaking these images so that they don't see, okay, this looks like, so-called black people. All right. Now, getting into these scriptures, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. Okay, so we are currently an astonishment. Okay, we're seen as like, how in the hell can a black person rule anything? They can't even do this, that, and third. Okay, like this is the type of image that they have for so-called black people. All right. Now, again, well, let me actually go into this, because this is actually the key word here. Astonishment, a great surprise. Okay, just as it will be a great surprise when we see what's coming down in the future. All right. Leviticus chapter 26, verse 32. And I will bring the land into desolation, and your enemies which dwell therein shall be astonished at it. Okay. Okay. The desolation. I'm gonna get into this. Actually, a precept is, if this is the right one. Revelation chapter 18, verse 19. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, the great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Okay, so in 1 hour, Babylon or America, okay, it's going to be made desolate. It's going to be brought to desolation. Okay, and again, the astonishment, okay, is like, wow, how is it that America, the greatest, the country with the best people, the most superior people, which is, even though people don't like to say it, okay, that's what people like generally have in the back of their mind. Or some people like him just straight up admit and say it. Okay, they're not afraid to just straight up say that. Okay, he literally just said it when he was talking in this video. In the video in that video I just showed you. Okay, so a great astonishment. Okay, which this is the key word of this video. Okay, astonishment. The astonishment of the fact that how there's no way that a race of people such as the so-called black people, okay, or the Israelites can rule anything or be great or do good at something or be on top. Okay, that's the astonishment. How can the people at the very bottom make it to the top? It's absolutely impossible. All right. Oh, and that's another precept. Okay, the Spirit has to flow through you, you let the Spirit flow through you to get these precepts. Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. But YAHAWASHI beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with Yahweh all things are possible. So again, this is going back into the fact that this is an astonishment. Under normal circumstances, no, we can't do it. We can't bring ourselves from the bottom to the top. We can't make a great change in the world. Okay, it's only through the will and power of the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahawashi, Ba'Shem Rakakwadah, that we can make that something can happen, something can be changed. Okay. And next is Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are J's and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Okay, so these people, there's fake J's, okay, the fake J's that claim to be Israelites, all right, or not even, Israelites, okay, but there's also the fact that they're, stealing all this. It's like you're not stealing, but changing all this historic facts into lies and saying, oh, it's not this, or if it does come out, they say, oh, well, it doesn't really matter. Let's forget about that. Let's focus on the now and the future. All right. Now Jeremiah chapter, this is just Slacky. I should have had. This is with Revelation chapter 18. Revelation chapter 18 verse 19, as well as Leviticus chapter 26 and 32. Jeremiah chapter 49:17. Also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at it the plagues thereof. So again, just to bring it home and conclude, the astonishment, which is again the key word for today's lesson, is the fact that the Israelites, okay, we're at the bottom. socially we're at the bottom, financially, all this stuff we're at the bottom, and then everyone's going to say like, oh, or people like that guy is going to say, the Israelites, they're at the bottom, they can't do anything, they're just straight up the worst of the worst, okay? And then you have the people that are at the top currently, okay, which are the so-called white people, and the fact that they are going to be brought to desolation, they're going to be destroyed, they're going to be brought down, they're going to be humbled, and all this stuff like that. The fact that that's going to happen, it's going to just blow everyone away. It's going to be like, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe what I just witnessed. This is unprecedented. All right, it's going to shock the world. All right, but with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. Just also understand and comprehend that it's not through our own work, not through our own works, not through our own capabilities or abilities. It's through the Most High that wills, the Most High that says, I'm going to make the impossible possible. All right, because no one can perceive, comprehend, or now in today, no one can say, oh yeah, so-called black people, they can rule, they have rule, they are going to rule and stuff like that. Only the prophets are able to say that, because that's the beauty of the prophets, because the Lord gives his word to the prophet for this message, the message of the impossible becoming possible. All right. But with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakwadah. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And with that, I want to say Shalom.